How can anyone, whether they want to work in a language school or privately from their own laptop anywhere in the world, create a rewarding and impactful career teaching English as a second language, even if they are just starting out or have no teaching experience or ability? Hi, my name is Lynette Kim, and here on the TESOL Talk podcast, I aim to answer that very question.
What is it like teaching kids, particularly overseas? Well, and also actually online. Well, it can be a lot of fun, but it is high energy. And starting with little kids like kindy, you have to think flashcards. You have to think realia, like toys, teddy bears, plastic animals, plastic fruit. You need to be like a Santa Claus and carry this big bag full of toys everywhere if you're physically teaching, or have them at the ready in the classroom. Think to yourself, play school, moving around, lots of action, lots of TPR, total physical response. That's what it's like. You need to be upbeat. You need to be using song and nursery rhyme and moving all around. So if you're in class with these students face to face, think about being on the floor, think about crawling around, think about being silly. And it can be loads of fun. And, ESL lessons overseas, each class usually only goes for an hour with children. So you'll be doing multiple classes in a day's session. So sometimes you're able to just reuse the same lesson. Really just depends on the levels at the school or the kindergarten. But if you've got the energy for it and you love kids, then it's a great experience, and most people get a lot from it because kids are so giving and they have so much energy. So, you really can enjoy that. Now, when you go into primary school age children, it's really quite similar. You're still going to be teaching using flashcards to a degree. You're going to be teaching vocabulary, words, this type of thing, using realia, not as much as with little kids though, the kindies, but you're going to be doing all of that. You'll have little reader books, this type of thing, but it's still really enjoyable. It is high energy still think play school, but just not to the same degree. Think kids shows. You will still use song and lots of games. Kids learn by games, and this is really, really important. When you go towards the teens and the high school teaching, you have to think to yourself, you're going to have more energy than teaching adults, but and you will be using games quite a lot, but the themes and everything, it all becomes quite adult, and teens tend to like very modern kinds of lessons and technology involved, and they like discussion and they have their opinions. I mean, who knows any teens that aren't opinionated these days? But think along those lines, but you're definitely modifying it to an adult level. So teaching kids, it is great. And if you love kids, you're going to love it overseas. You just need to think to yourself at what stage in childhood, whether it's kindy, whether it's young children, whether it's older children, teens, this sort of thing, because those energy levels are going to vary. The physicality of your teaching is going to vary, and the lessons are going to become much more complicated. Now, the hard things about teaching kindy and really young kids is that your resources are very limited. And so you're using flashcards, you're using little songs, all this type of thing, a few word vocabulary, 3 to 5 words per lesson. So you can imagine you don't want to burn through material, but it's very hard to sustain a longer lesson doing this type of thing because they're very limited in what they can learn in one lesson and retain. Now, if you're teaching older kids, you can add more into it because they're able to handle it, and you can add more as far as worksheets and pair and group work and games are concerned. You're able to explain rules to games, so it makes it quite easy. And then when you're getting to the teens, it's more like teaching adults, so you don't have any of those issues. But then you do have the, teenagers are teenagers no matter where they are around the world. There are those teen issues, so that is just something to take into account. But kids, I love teaching kids. I love teaching study tour kids because they're on holidays and they're having a ball and they are just ready to enjoy themselves. There can be some classroom management issues, but those can be really easily sorted out if you are really focused on your students and you have a really good understanding of how to adapt activities and play lots of games in the classroom and have lots of competition. So teaching kids what's it really like: high energy, fun, physical, probably a faster teach than teaching adults, because adults, you can sit back and it's more of a discussion thing. So weigh up the costs of your energy against the easiness of the materials that you're going to be teaching, but how you're going to extend that. And then you have an answer to what it's like teaching kids in the ESL classroom.